Good evening, guys. Change of scenery. If you saw the introductory video, that was filmed in my living room at home. I'm on the road tonight. I am in Fredericksburg, Virginia, where I'm directing a play along with Rebecca with the Children's Youth Theater of Fredericksburg called Annie, the musical. And so I travel there on weekends to direct that show. And so I'm recording this from my hotel room in Fredericksburg tonight. I want to talk today about the question, what is theater? And so, first of all, the thing I want you to know about theater is that theater is universal. Every recorded culture has some kind of theatrical activity, some kind of ritual or storytelling that is part of their cultural makeup. Aristotle says that we as humans are mimetic. We love to copy. We love to imitate. And so part of that theatrical activity could be rooted in that desire to imitate, the pleasure that we as humans get from imitation. Part of it could be from the nature of ritual. We have ceremonies and ritual to pin down moments of time and to make us remember them. When you finish your activities at Bluefield College, you'll go through a ritual, a ceremony, to say, here, at this moment, I received my college degree. We love ritual and ceremony because they make time stand still for a moment. Let us take a snapshot of time and keep it. And so sociologists, anthropologists believe that this desire to tell stories, to imitate, to create ritual, to pin down time, all lead to this universal drive to create stories and theater. We see that in primitive cultures. We see it in modern cultures. We do things today, even that aren't theater, that have theatrical qualities. I mentioned graduation. Graduation has a lot of theatrical elements to it. You will wear a costume. You'll wear a robe with a hood and a really odd hat. I don't know where that hat came from, but you'll wear a mortarboard on your head. There will be certain things that are said. At some point in your graduation ceremony, there will be a part of the ceremony where you move the tassel from one side of your hat to the other. There are words that are spoken. At some point, the president of the college will say, by the power vested in me, by the state of Virginia, I now pronounce you as graduates of Bluefield College with all the rights pertaining thereto. So there are costumes, there are lines, there are scripted bits of activity. There are these theatrical elements, and we see that in our religious services. We see it in our ceremonies like graduation or marriage. We see them in our Friday night football games. There's this drive to create ritual and ceremony and theater throughout culture. And so when something takes that significant a part of a society's psyche, of their nature, then that's something we need to study, we need to understand. All right. Theater is universal. It's also an art. And because it's an art, there's certain things that we know and understand about it. First of all, we know that it's made or created by an artist. If you go to see a painting, that painting was created by a painter. If you go to see Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa, an artist, Leonardo da Vinci created that. If you go to see a sculpture like Michelangelo's David in Florence, Italy, a man crafted that from marble and created that amazing statue. Theater is the same way. It is created by artists. Theater is a collaborative art, though. There's not just one artist behind it. There is a playwright who creates the script. There is a director who interprets that script. There are actors who perform it, designers who create the sets and the costumes and the lights that bring it to life. And so theater is unique in its collaborative nature. As an art, we can also say that theater is selective. All art is selective. There is an artist making decisions about what to include in the story, the composition, the painting, the film, the photograph. And we make decisions in theater as well. There are things that we show you. There are things that we leave to your imagination so that you will be actively involved in what's happening in the production. In addition to being created by artists and being selective, recognizing that theater is an art also helps us to understand that theater has a medium for the artist to work through. If you're a painter, you work with oils or watercolors to create an image. If you are a sculptor, you sculpt out of clay or marble. If you are a musician, you use sound and silence and rhythm. Well, in theater, we have our medium too. And the medium of the theater artist is the human body in movement and the human voice in speech. We use movement and words to create images and pictures and tell stories. So theater is an art, which means there is an artist. There is a selection process, a choice of what's going to be in that artwork. There is a medium that is used to create it. But theater is unique in that it is a temporal art form. I mentioned Michelangelo's David. Rebecca and I had a chance about 5 years ago to travel to Florence and see the original statue of David. And it is now 500 years old. And except for some wear and tear, it is the very same statue that Michelangelo made in the 1400s. I love film. And if you look at a classic film like Citizen Kane or something more contemporary like, well, I don't remember any contemporary films. But if you look at a great film like Citizen Kane, that movie is the same as it has been from the beginning. It never changed. But theater isn't like that. Theater isn't like a painting or a movie or a sculpture. It is temporal. And that's because theater can only occur when live actors stand in front of a live audience and perform a story or a script. And that means that it's going to be different every time it happens. Over the course of the semester, we'll watch 4 plays, but they're not theater. They are recordings of theater. When you're watching Agamemnon or Hamlet or Our Town or Doll's House, you can pause that video and walk away and come back an hour later and it will pick up right where you left off. It is unchanged because it's not a live performance. It is not a live actor in front of a live audience. Theater has a live audience and live actors, and that means that it's different every single time it happens. And that's one of the things that makes theater special. I mentioned that I like film. When I was in high school, my brother and I went to go see a movie together. And we got there late, and the movie had already started. We went in the dark, started trying to find our way to a seat. And then our eyes adjusted, and we realized that there was no one in the theater but us. And so we sat there in a dark theater all by ourselves and watched this movie. And we could talk, we could throw popcorn, we could be rude, we could do all the things that drive people crazy when you're in a movie if there's other people in the audience. And it didn't change the movie at all because it wasn't a live performance. We were a live audience, but it wasn't a live performance. I mentioned that I'm directing Annie right now in Fredericksburg. When I was in college, and this is posted on the forum for this week, I had the chance to see the original Broadway production of Annie. And there's a scene where the orphan girls are singing a song. It's at the beginning of the second act, and something happened that night, and the audience laughed, which is to be expected. But there was a man on the front row who had this amazingly unique laugh. I mean, it sounded like, it sounded like a horse in a great deal of pain. And he started laughing, and after a moment, we quit laughing at the girls on stage and started laughing at his laugh. which made him laugh more. And then the girls on stage, the orphans, they got involved and they started laughing because of this guy's laugh. And it just went on and on and on. And you'll see the rest of the story when you go to do your forum posts. But I think mine was a unique experience. I and the other 800 or 900 people sitting in that theater that night had an experience that nobody else had in the history of the production of Annie, because of what happened when a live audience came together with a live performer. That's what makes theater unique. Yes, it's universal. Yes, it is an art, which means that there are artists and selection and a medium. But what makes theater unique is the chemistry that takes place between that live audience and that live performer. All right, that's our first video lecture. We're going to have a couple more in this unit talking about the role of the audience, at the background of the audience, and the audience's use of imagination. So those will be coming in the next day or so. Hope you're having a good week. Look forward to reading your posts, getting your emails as you respond to let me know that you are going to be participating in the course. Until our next video lecture, God bless, and I'll talk to you later.